everybody, it's Joey here from Many Hens Peace Farm on a windy day and a little bit of a respite from a big week of rain. For those who don't know, I've been living here for about 4 years and on the mountain. It's been a great place to call home, and I've become a bit of a wild foods enthusiast in my stint here. And so what we're gonna do today is kind of a bit of a walkabout. In lieu of a traditional foraging tour that we might do here, gonna kind of do a survey of what we got going on right now and do lots of nibbles and maybe cook up something real tasty to eat. So we'll see what we find on the trails today, and a little bit in some exposed areas like near our farm and whatnot. With all this rain, obviously we're on the cusp of mushroom season. We're in late May. Wild mushroom season in Highlands, I say really kicks off like on the summer solstice, but you can definitely find good stuff in the meantime. Yeah, and so kind of want to definitely start with a disclaimer saying, obviously, you should not consume anything that you're not 100%, I mean more than 100% sure on the identification of. And there'll definitely be contact information in this video if you have any questions or want to send pictures or a video of anything that you've got going on in your yard or in the forest. Definitely we want to pay homage to cultures that have come before us. I obviously have inherited a lot of knowledge through books, talking to people of more than just my culture and people that I know. I'm very grateful for that, and so we should pay homage to that. And then obviously to the plants and mushrooms that we'll be harvesting today, we want to give thanks to them. We want to do so in a respectful manner. We're paying attention to the seasonality of everything as we are responsible stewards of this land. But yeah, without further ado, let's see what we can find. All right, so we have our first tree here. We've got a beautiful black locust. It's one of the densest hardwoods on the east coast of the United States, and that's why people use it for fence posts as a big reason. It's nitrogen fixing. You gotta be aware, sometimes you see thorns on them, especially the new growth. That's why they call it pseudo-acacia, so it's kind of like an acacia, but not really. And what we're interested in from a foraging perspective right now this time of year, and really only for a 1 or 2 week window, is it's making beautiful little flowers, kind of look like pea flowers, and are very sweet in aroma, have a complex taste that would infuse well into like a syrup or a liqueur. And so we're gonna harvest them today primarily for just kind of like an additive for salads. They're really tasty to just put on a salad. Tastes a lot like pea flowers. Yeah, pretty awesome. And we love black locusts more than just for edible reasons, as they're nitrogen fixing and are really sturdy. And only one of the few mushrooms that can break it down is actually chicken in the woods. So sometimes you will find a little hand of chicken in the woods on them. But thank you, black locusts. This is another fun one that you'll find on your walks in the forest, and they'll definitely want to try to grab you. Ah! These are the tendrils and the tips of Smilax. Smilax or greenbrier. Smilax is a genus, and we've got here is, it's a kind of a thorny vine that reaches out into pathways. And what you're really interested in from a foraging perspective is the tender tips. And you see this was very waxy right here. Are quite tasty, good addition to salads or stir fries. Sometimes they've got a sour note to them, sometimes kind of a complex like spiciness, kind of like, I get oregano sometimes, I don't know why, but yeah, fun addition right there. So we're gonna add that to the basket. And then keep it going. This is less from a wild foods perspective, but we've kind of created an ambient, dank, humid location to put our shiitake logs. And actually right next to our shiitake logs is a big hemlock log that you can see right there is hosting a reishi. So this is Hemlock Reishi. So this mushroom gets its name because its primary food consumption is dead hemlock. So you got a big dead hemlock log right here. This mushroom, I could turn it and see the bottom side, is a porous mushroom. So it's a polypore, meaning instead of having gills that would release spores, they've got lots of little tiny holes that release spores. And you see it's starting to get some of the red varnish on it. And we'll find another one maybe on this walk where we can cut off the white tips. I'm gonna let this one grow a little bigger. But right next to it, we've got shiitake. So we grow shiitake on logs, and I'm gonna harvest them to make a nice stir fry for today's meal. And I'm just gonna kind of twist them right off. You'll see it's got gills on the bottom. Just kind of give it a twist. They're very happy with this new spot and all this rain we've been getting.
And so that we're gonna add that to our nice little stir fry. Awesome. All right, we've got here the nice young tender growth from an offshoot of a much larger tree that you can see, which is a sassafras. And the way I know it's a sassafras is we see we've got a 3-pronged leaf, a 1-pronged leaf that we'll call a spoon, and then I'm looking for the last. That's a really bad one, but it's a mitten. And then all those leaves are on the same branches sometimes. And we're interested today because the nice young tender growth that comes out in spring is tender enough to eat as a salad green. Sassafras is known definitely as like a root beer plant. Its roots have been historically harvested. You make a tea, but today we're actually more interested for it as a salad green. And it has a nice lemony, like almost gingery taste to it. A little bit mucilaginous, which some people don't typically care for, but same kind of gooiness that like okra might give to a dish. Sassafras leaves historically have been done so. Same with the idea of like gumbo is thickened with dried leaves like this. We're gonna use it as a salad green. You could also stir fry with it when they get a little harder, but today we're gonna use it as a salad green. And definitely say thank you, sassafras. And with tree greens, we don't wanna pick too many from a single tree, so we'll definitely spread the love and keep it going down the line. But sassafras is a great salad ingredient. Walking along and I saw what we're gonna refer to as a mushroom. So this right here, I just saw it kind of bursting out of the soil. And I'm gonna show you what we're looking at here. All right, so I'm gonna take my mushroom knife. I'm gonna cut below. It's an all white mushroom. One thing I'll notice is it's rather crumbly. It just kind of breaks it apart. That'll let me know it's a Russula mushroom. But yeah, we can just call this mushroom, it's some species in the Sickener complex. So this is, Russula is the genus, and then it might be Russula emetica or another similar species. And it is called Sickener because it would make you vomit. It's not a lethal mushroom, but it's one of our common poisonous mushrooms. And it's in a Russula, which if I threw it at a tree, it would totally disintegrate. But squirrels have been known to feast on these and get a little bit intoxicated. So it's still a cool. All right, this is a nice tree to get familiar with. You notice the bark appearance. Sometimes they have eyes on their bark. And as we follow it out, we can see the leaves are not smooth, they're serrated. And we're actually interested in the tips of these. This is black birch or sweet birch. And you can just kind of rough off kind of the skin right here. Give it a good smell. It smells like wintergreens. We got a good toothpick plant, Indian toothpaste. What do you think, mister? It's pretty good, yeah? It's tasty. Black. And while you're out looking, you don't always have to find things that are ready to eat right now. You can notice this is a buckberry, a very sour berry that's not ready now, but obviously this whole patch will be ready in later summer. So it's good to keep track and kind of make a mental note of where things are that will be ready later. Got a small bit of wild mint here. The way you know it's mint is obviously it smells, but beyond that, we've got the mint family characteristics of, oh, I kind of butchered it. But if you look straight on, it's got a square stem that you can roll on your fingers. And the leaves are oriented opposite. So this will be this way, then perpendicular. Then this way, then perpendicular. And then you can get a smell out of it. I like mint as a good additive for, you can just throw it in your water bottle for the day. You can dry it out, you can make more tea down the line, and you can put it, we're trying to make some mint incense, that would be cool. It's a very calming herb. Yeah, love some wild mint. So we've got a large, dead, you guessed it, hemlock tree that is sporting quite a large number of reishi nubs. So you can see right here, once again, we got soft pores on the underside, and we've got kind of the red varnish color coming in. I found this one on the ground. And what some people may not know about reishi was primarily thought of as a medicinal mushroom, but when they're young, they actually have a pretty good edible portion. So all these white tips on the reishi are quite tasty and awesome. You can just like slice them and saute them. And so I'm gonna do that on one mushroom and kind of demonstrate. So I'm gonna pick a higher mushroom, and the mushroom will continue to grow, but I'm just gonna cut the margins off. So I'm just gonna use the knife and just come in and kind of slice these nice tender tips off. And that's what you are gonna wanna saute. And you can see the inner layers of it. And the mushroom will continue growing and sporulating. And I'm just taking a little bit as a nice tasty treat. And why do people care about mushrooms? Well, they're definitely protein packed.
They're a renewable source of energy. They're contributing a lot to the forest. How amazing the soil is by breaking down all this dead tree matter. And while it is sad that we are losing hemlocks in large numbers, at least this mushroom is happy, and we can get a little bit of medicinal and edible benefit from what this mushroom is doing. So this is Hemlock Reishi, and we're allowing the mushroom to continue growing and take a little nibble off of it. Awesome.